Finance. Now it's new and improved. Fortified with the ingredients that investors love. On today's episode, easy access to crypto exchanges.
Welcome back, everyone. It's August 5th, 2020. I'm JerryVHall, and here's the view from Costa Rica. Now, I have an article which I'm, going to read for you. It comes from Finextra, but to really set the context of why this article is pressing and important and poignant today is a phone call that I was on yesterday with a dear friend of 35 years who some time ago had many conversations about digital assets with me and always was open to it, but very reluctant to actually do anything about it. And I don't believe I'm the only one who has friends and family who fit in that particular kind of category. So the phone call yesterday went with, okay, I'm ready, I'm gonna do it. What's the best way to get into this? And so it started with, well, you need an on-ramp. That would be an exchange of some sort. So based on where you live, here are the available options. Obviously, you want to have something that has the lowest fees and easiest user interface. And so I suggested Uphold and I suggested Coinbase. Well, it didn't take very long on this phone call to figure out that my buddy was not interested in a learning curve on digital assets. What he was interested in is the gains that come from being an early investor in digital assets. Now, you and I know that to reap those rewards that are possible, you have to be in the game. And to be in the game, there's a certain amount of learning that you have to commit yourself to. And it's amazing to me that there are going to be a lot of people who want the gains, but they don't want to do the learning. Now, why is that important? Well, to me, it speaks to those who are going to provide the easiest, seamless user interface are going to be the ones that capture that segment of the market. And I believe that segment of the market is very, very big. So with that being said, let's transition into why this article is in front of you and why I believe it's important. One last preface, of course, is the information that we got from the OCC. This is big in that there are companies, large banking institutions that have been working with, exploring options, or actually creating and building interface to add onto the existing fledgling infrastructure that is digital asset payment rails, i.e., in Ripple's quote, the Internet of Value. So let's get right into this article and why I believe it's poignant based on what I've prefaced previously. So from Finextra, this retail banking article comes out dated July 29, 2020. Headline reads, Bank of America brings mobile wallet to EMEA and APAC. What that means is EMA is actually Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And of course, APAC is the Asian Pacific region. So it's basically not the Americas and not Russia and China. Some may or may not include Australia in APAC, but for the sake of argument, I'm going to today. So this is a very large segment of the world with very large populations that are not third world countries. These are companies with infrastructures. that have commerce, that have business, that have investment. So there is money moving around. Let's get right into the article. Bank of America has expanded its mobile wallet capabilities for corporate clients in EMEA and APAC. The first bank launched mobile wallet in the United States and Canada in 2018, and this expansion makes it the first commercial bank issuer to offer the technology to corporate clients worldwide. The bank's clients who use corporate travel and purchasing cards in EMEA and APAC are now able to use Apple Pay and Google Pay to make and manage card purchases. This is wonderful. We know with the pandemic, there's social distancing and you don't want to hand your card to somebody. So all these really cool chips and touch and glance and do this with your phone and QR codes, these are all things that are going to get wider and wider and wider adoption because of social, political responses to COVID. Okay, great. This new functionality underlines Bank of America's investment in enhancing the cardholder experience, said David Voss. He's the head of their commercial cards for global transaction services. Now, all that is fine and dandy. And it goes on to talk about other incredible features of the phone, of the cards, and even gets another quote from another card executive. Let's go down a little further because this is where I think it gets really incredible. And I don't know if enough people have really investigated or really looked at this element. So let me read the paragraph and we'll talk about it. To help protect client information, mobile wallets use a process known as tokenization, where sensitive card data is replaced by a token when making a payment via mobile wallet. Only the token is passed to merchants instead of the actual card data. This improves payment security as it prevents exposure to sensitive card information to merchants. For additional security when making a payment using a mobile wallet, the cardholder will need to complete identity confirmation, such as facial recognition, a thumbprint, or a passcode to complete the transaction. This verification process occurs on the card holder's mobile device and typically replaces the need to enter a PIN on the merchant's terminal. This mobile wallet capability is available to users in 29 countries in EMEA and APAC, with additional countries expected to be added. Mobile phones and smartwatches are also supported. So this speaks to me in a couple of different ways. The expansion of digital infrastructure to complete transactions or to move value has been on the mind of Bank of America, so much so that they've adopted this technology and are moving forward. Now, anybody that's been in this space for any length of time and has followed anything that Ripple or XRP does knows that there was a document leaked from a January conference in Singapore where it clearly stated that Ripple and Bank of America were partnering. It was later confirmed on a podcast where two separate Bank of America executives confirmed their partnership with Ripple. So I don't believe I'm connecting a lot of dots when I say that it's very, very reasonable, and you can assign a very high probability to this, that Bank of America and Ripple together will have a press release at some point stating that they are working together to move value, whether that value be for their corporate clients, the general retail public, or as remittances, RippleNet and Bank of America are joined at the hip. I'm excited to see what's going to roll out for this. And I'm not sure when, but I can't imagine that they won't have a product online by year's end. I know we're in August and there's a lot of other things going on, but it makes sense when you look at the backdrop of the banking industry, whether it be in the United States, Europe, or even the APAC region. Banks have been losing ground from a valuation standpoint for quite some time. It's all a consequence of zero or negative interest rates. Banks for years have made their money on lending, charging interest, having the loan repaid. It's very difficult when there are high delinquencies, whether they be for an auto loan, new or used, a real estate loan, or a commercial venture, maybe a business loan that goes bad. Defaults are up and continue to climb. Rates are low. This is a recipe for the banking industry to seek and search out other ways to retain customers, acquire customers. Because at the end of the day, for a bank, it's all about what's on deposit. If you are a bank and you don't have deposits, you don't have a business. Well, how do you attract depositors? Well, you provide other services. And this is one of those ways. And we know Ripple provides a service that is really second to none in this new digital transformation. And how much of RippleNet will interact with the proprietary Bank of America wallets is still yet to be seen. But we do know if you're a RippleNet client, integration that comes into play, not only comes into play for you, but every other member of RippleNet. It's getting better and better by the day, folks. Remember, when you're talking to friends and family, and a lot of them are going to approach you because the news is getting out. When numbers like 30% gains and 40% gains and 50% gains in a world where that's not happening, bonds do not yield. And the more people that get into bonds, the lower the yields are. Very few stocks are actually performing well, a very few. And the ones that are performing well are all overpriced relative to the strength of their balance sheet. So it's going to be interesting, very interesting time, folks. Strap in, keep your eyes on this. I think Bank of America is going to be a big player. Well, then again, Jerry, I thought SBI was going to be a huge player. And to date, although incredible things have happened, valuation as it pertains to the underlying asset XRP has not increased because of SBI. That's just the truth. But I think that's a big yet. I do not believe for 1 second SBI is a nothing burger. I think it is a yet to be realized value-added partnership. And when it does come online and starts contributing value to the underlying asset, I think that it will get stronger and stronger and stronger, because we know the role SBI has taken in the infrastructure of RippleNet in APAC. Well, that's been the view from Costa Rica, folks. I hope you've enjoyed my spin. I'd love your comments on this Bank of America Ripple partnership and what you see can manifest from it going forward. Is Bank of America the America's version of SBI? Will it be the partner that propels us into the greater US banking industry? Will it be our hub on this side of the world and interfacing with the other hubs, the Santanders, the SBIs, of the world, only time will tell. So until next time, everybody, Pura Vida.